I used to do lots of things.
I used to do things and I'd say things and Jesus I was evil. Say things and break things and Jesus I was evil. I never shook baby.
All right. Welcome everyone to episode 95, man.
95. We're
Yeah.
doing it. We're doing it, Joe. You know how often I'm going to use that meme? The Kamala Harris. We did it, Joe.
Hey, just look at us, huh?
Okay, look at us.
Yeah, so we are chugging along with Horrorfest. We're well into
Horrorfest,
October.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Week 2, 2023. Did The Exorcism came out today?
Yes, it's up.
Yeah. So we're doing subgenres this year, trying to be a little more focused. We did exorcisms for episode 94 ever, but episode 1 of Horrorfest for 2023. This week we're doing slashers.
Yeah.
Which I know, Jim, last year when you were on, we kind of touched on like the heavy hitters. I think just kind of free form. So if we talk about them again, that's fine. Like they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And definitely less known things, just favorites, stuff like that. What makes a slasher. And sorry. I said, Joe, you introduce him. I'll introduce him. We're the Delta Vidcast, Cait and Jen, who have their own podcast, and which is, why don't you guys tell everyone what it's about?
Yeah.
All right, so basically, it's like kind of a mix of stuff. We got 2 segments that we kind of focus on right now. First one's called Tales from the Horde. And if you remember last time when I was on your show, like I was sitting in front of the DVDs.
Yeah.
That's the Horde.
Nice.
So,
I like that.
So the stuff that we talk about is everything from there, and if I don't have it, I don't talk about it. I try to get it first, you know what I mean, to add to the collection. It kind of keeps it fresh. I can still keep collecting, and we have plenty to talk about. The second thing that we do is we do on location. We visited a couple filming locations from movies like Dawn of the Dead, 1978. We actually are working on an episode right now for the Dawn of the Dead 2004 filming locations. We tracked some of those down.
Oh, cool.
That's one of my favorites.
We did Beetlejuice and that video, or Beetlejuice 2 filming locations as they were doing it. That video like took off, but it's kind of to be expected.
Where are these locations?
So Beetlejuice was in Vermont. The Dawn of the Dead 78 locations, that was in Pennsylvania, between like Monroeville County and Evans City. Let's see. Then the Dawn of the Dead locations, that was like near Toronto, East Brampton, I believe it was.
The 2004 one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Wisconsin, but when we looked it up, because we're like, we should plan a trip, and it was like Toronto. I was like, let's just go over the bridge.
Yeah, we're like an hour away.
I don't get it. Why not just set it in Toronto then? Like if it's like what, like it was just at a mall in Wisconsin.
I think it would have been cooler if they set it in Toronto, to be honest, because it's like the original one wasn't even Wisconsin; it was Pennsylvania. So
right, because Night of the Living Dead's also Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah. That was the Evans City stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, that's basically what we're doing right now.
That's very cool. Sorry. I just wanted real quick because Jim, you mentioned so I love the Horde. The Horde's great. So I started a new job. That's not a new job. I just switched offices, and there's so on like a lunch break or something, I'll go to the local library, which is right across the street, and there's a good DVD collection because it's a pretty big like county library. And I'm like, you know what? Like there are a bunch of movies here that I see that are on my list that I can't get for free right now, and I can just take them out here. So I think you'd be happy to know that I'm going to procure a DVD player and start taking out some DVDs from the local library. So I'm like, why not? Like it's great.
Yeah.
So.
So I was just gonna say, you guys brought up the filming locations thing. So I'm in LA, so there are quite a few iconic filming locations. So
there's so many, man.
We literally have a list. Like when we go to California, like we're gonna spend a month and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, seriously. I hope you guys get to come out here at some point, because like the original John Carpenter Halloween house is in Pasadena. It's funny because like right now it's just like businesses. It's just like a law office or something. Like just
last I heard it was like a dentist's office or something.
It's one of those, it's one of those buildings where it's like, it's each room is like a different business. There's like just small little businesses, like an office and accountant, that sort of thing. Yeah. So, but behind the house though, there's a residential area, and it's this house. And like every month they basically do like different themes, and they'll actually like bring in like different like artists, local artists. So it's like, oh, for this month it's obviously for October they do Halloween themed, John Carpenter Halloween themed. But then they'll be, oh, this is Beetlejuice month, so we're gonna have artists bring in their Beetlejuice inspired art. Oh, it's David Lynch month, so we're doing Twin Peaks and stuff like that. So each month they just cycle out, and it's right behind the Halloween house, because like, well, if you can't go hang out in the Halloween house, then this is the next best thing. But then like the house from A Nightmare on Elm Street, it's like right off of Sunset Boulevard or Hollywood Boulevard, and then like the church from John Carpenter's what's the one that he shot in the late 80s? Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in downtown LA. So it's like,
and they got like the Return of the Living Dead locations are out there also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But so today we are talking slashers. We are talking our favorite, our least favorite slashers, and just riffing on slashers. Did you guys want to start off with the game?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is a fan favorite from our season 1.
Fact or crap.
So basically I'm going to give you the fact, and you guys will guess if you think it's an actual fact or if it's a load of crap.
Okay.
All right.
So for our first stop, Skeet Ulrich, Scream. He was actually stabbed during the filming of Scream. Fact or crap?
I think I'm going to go with fact.
I watch a lot of videos about like this kind of stuff, like 10 things you didn't know about. I'm going to say crap. I don't think it happened.
So it's actually fact. So It was this scene with the umbrella when Sydney was wearing the Scream costume and she stabs him. It was supposed to be a retractable umbrella, and he had like a body protectant vest on, but it somehow got through, and it actually stabbed him where he had heart surgery as a child.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
So, yeah.
Did he have to get like hospitalized after that? Like, did he have?
I don't know. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't like find like the outcome of it. But he does talk about how he was stabbed on that movie.
Oh jeez! All right. That's weird though, to be taken out by an umbrella. Like that's not the coolest story.
I know. It's like like a penguin.
I thought it was gonna be the scene where they're like stabbing each other, like to make it look like they didn't do all the other stabbings.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis was only paid $8,000 for her role in Halloween. Fact or crap?
I'm gonna go with fact.
I'm gonna go with crap again.
All right.
It's fact.
Oh my god!
She made $8,000 for her role. Another fun fact about that movie, I learned it as I was researching. Robert Englund, Freddy, he was actually like a part of making Halloween. He was actually the guy that threw all the dead leaves in the street before they started filming.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So yes, because they shot that in Pasadena, which is a little more suburban. It's but there are a few shots in the movie where it's like you see palm trees like in the background. Like for the most part, like it's pretty convincing. Of like, oh, this place is a small town in the Midwest, but you see some palm trees in the background.
Is this supposed to be like suburban Chicago or something?
Haddonfield, Illinois, I think. So
it was Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like probably suburbs of Chicago or something.
Yeah. But the reason why I went with True on that one is because the woman who played Pamela Voorhees in the very first Friday the 13th film, she was paid, I think, $10,000 for that role, and that movie came out 2 years after Halloween. And I remember because she was talking about how she read the script and she thought it was a piece of shit, but she goes, there was a car I wanted, but there's a car I wanted to get that was $11,000, and then this was $10,000. So I was like, all right, fine, like I'll do it for 1 week's worth of work. So I was like, okay, that's kind of comparable, you know.
Now she's a legend.
All right. Okay, next. So the original working title for Friday the 13th was called Revenge of Jason Voorhees.
I'm going to go with crap on that one.
Revenge of Jason Voorhees. Oh, and I just listened to a podcast about this too. I don't know. I'll go with crap.
It is total crap. It was actually called A Long Night at Camp Blood.
Okay. I knew it was something like long like that. Yeah, it's something that's kind of like a mouthful.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
right,
I read
got that right.
I think in one of the behind the scenes documentaries, who was the director on that? Was it Sam Cunningham? Something Cunningham.
Yeah, Sean Cunningham.
Sean Cunningham. Yeah, he told a story about how they came up with the poster first. They didn't really know exactly what the plot was, but there was like, oh, like it was like, you know, like a perfect day to die or perfect day for terror or something like that. And but I heard that was kind of common practice back in the day for low budget horror movies to come up with a cool poster, and if it got enough attention, then like, okay, let's turn it into a movie now.
I mean, the hockey mask is so iconic and it's so perfect. I personally, I think we talked about this last year. I don't love Friday the 13th. It's probably like my least favorite of the heavy hitters. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. And then I was actually looking at my scores from, because now I have them on a spreadsheet. So that, and then right below that, Friday the 13th. Excuse me, not Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday. And then Halloween, and then Friday the 13th. But does it, wait, so you guys are real into movie locations, filming. Was that filmed in New Jersey, or does it just take place in New Jersey?
Yeah, there's the actual camp is in New Jersey. And I keep telling him I want to go.
We're going.
Are you? Oh, wait, New Jersey. You got to let me know when you come.
Okay.
I don't know how far. I've looked it up before, but I can't remember if that's like just where it takes place in the universe, or if it actually was filmed there. It was just filmed in like, or actually just in like California.
It's a Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they actually had to make a donation to the Boy Scouts of America in order to film at the camp.
And I've seen videos of this of that place over the years, and like from what I've seen, there's still artifacts that you can find, like the one bridge that the van drives over. They had to like build it to make it look like, you know, it's still there. It's a ruin, but most of the pieces are still there. You know,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Oh, another Friday the 13th. So fact or crap, Jason doesn't actually physically appear in Friday the 13th until its sequels.
Well, he shows up at the very end of the first one, but that was like a dream, though, right? Like that was a nightmare.
You mean like you can't see him until
he's not physically there?
Not physically there. Oh, because the mom's doing all the killing
in the first one. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, it's a good question. Well, yeah, because you do see him at the end.
Yeah, but that was a dream, though. That was a nightmare.
But
so he doesn't actually show up until the second one, where he's wearing that bag over his head.
So I don't know if it's like a technical question. So fact?
It's a fact. Yeah, he's not actually physically in the movie until the sequels.
Oh, I do like how you know they still kind of went with like when you the handful of times you see his face, at least for like the first few times, like they still kind of kept a little bit of Tom Savini's design of like that sort of like mongoloid deformed head a little bit.
They're like, that's messed up, let's use it.
Well, I read no, I didn't read it. It was again because when I was a kid, I had like the box set that had the original 8 and then had all the behind the scenes stuff. And so the actor who played the young Jason Voorhees at the end of the first one, I guess the head that he was wearing, the prosthetic, it was very buoyant. so like it helped give him more lift, like when he popped out. So like they didn't really have to like it's not they had to like launch him or anything. It was just his head was just like a flotation device.
Okay, go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that worked out.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more here. So the camp used in Sleepaway Camp was built for the movie and then later converted into a scout camp. Fact or correct?
I actually don't know this movie, so I'll abstain.
I'm gonna go with fact.
It's actually crap. It's a camp. The director of the movie actually attended the camp as a child. It's in New York, so maybe we'll visit it. But it's called Camp Algonquin.
Huh. Interesting. So was that the one that had Bruce Springsteen's sister, or did she not show up until like the sequels or something?
I think that's the sequels.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think it was the sequels because the first one it was a girl with the penis, right?
Yeah.
You got to add this one. Just like you got to add it to your list. Like,
Okay.
It's really nutty.
Sleepaway Camp?
Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
2 and 3 are like everybody like slams it, but Jim will tell you.
I love those movies. It's 2, 3. Well, they're filmed back to back, so I feel like they have the most consistencies between a sequel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the girl that came back to play Angela, like, I don't know, man, she just brought her own thing to it, and like I really love those movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
it's like the perfect combination of like horror, comedy, and boobies,
and like 80s camp.
Yeah. If I remember it correctly, like the poster for one of those had her wearing a backpack that had like Freddy's gloves sticking out of it, and like it was like kind of a reference to all the other slasher movies that were coming out at the time.
Yeah,
that was the second one, I think.
Yeah, because by that time, because I think the first one was a little more serious, but then parts 2 and 3 were like, nah, she's gonna do like Freddy Krueger. She's just gonna be making jokes and puns. The whole time.
And they just I don't think they get enough credit. You know, I
They're
love
really fun.
All right, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
All right. Ewan McGregor was actually originally offered the role of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Fact or cap? Or crap?
I'm gonna go with fact on that one.
I'm with fact also.
It is a fact, and the hilarious part is that Christian Bale personally convinced him not to do the role.
He's like,
no, that's not for you because it's for me.
That's good. I do love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Love that one. All right. So Child's Play was released the same day as the opening scene was set on November 9th, 1988. Fact or crap?
It's so specific that.
Interesting. I'm going to go with fact.
I'll go with crap.
It's fact.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool because
Yeah.
that's pretty rare in movies. But
That is cool.
all right, I got one more for you guys.
Right.
So Johnny Depp was only cast in A Nightmare on Elm Street because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy and threatened to run away from home if he didn't cast him.
That I actually do know is fact.
Okay, yeah, fact.
That's like I just listened to a podcast on Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was Wes Craven's daughter's like, you have to cast him. Like apparently Johnny Depp really just wanted to be a musician, like didn't really care about acting, and then he became like the biggest actor of a decade or whatever. But yeah, that's a cool story.
During the funeral scene for Wes Craven's New Nightmare, Wes Craven wanted to have Johnny Depp show up, but by that time Depp was a pretty big star. And so he's like, he's not going to want to come back to do another Nightmare movie. But then when he ran into him years later, he goes, oh, hey, I was going to invite you to do the thing. And Depp was like, I would have gone if you'd have invited me.
Yeah.
Like, missed opportunity.
Yeah, because he showed up in Freddy's Dead, right? The final Nightmare for this is your brain on drugs.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp kind of feels like, they always do those charts that's like chaotic, neutral, evil, chaotic evil, like neutral good, like all that stuff. He feels like a chaotic good.
Yeah.
Like where Jared Leto is kind of like a chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if evil is the right term, because I actually like Jared Leto a lot. I think he's a good actor, but he is a nutcase.
Yeah.
I'm okay with.
I agree.
He was in our Weirdos.
Are the best.
He was in our episode Weirdos Make the World Turn, where we talk about all the weirdos in showbiz, and we're for it. Yeah.
So do you guys want to kick off like what your favorite slasher films are? Like you can start with some heavy hitters. You want to start with some more obscure stuff, and we can riff on that.
Okay. Well, it's like I'm just gonna I feel like a lot of people know, if they don't, main one, Friday the 13th. That's a heavy hitter right off the bat. But there's a new contender, on the board. Yeah. Art the Clown, man. Like, I don't know. People are like, that's too gory. That's, the ultra violence. I don't care. Like, I like them.
Art the Clown, that's from
Terrifier.
Yeah.
Terrifier.
And I just heard that they're working on a third one. And I guess in November, they're releasing the second one back into theaters, and they're going to drop a teaser. So I'm waiting for that. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen any of those movies. Everybody I know who's watched them says that they're great. So
I think they're too much. Too much for me.
You feel something. Like, I don't know. I just remember we seen it in theaters, Terrifier 2, and we were just sitting there like it was just insane. So definitely one for the list.
And we got the VHS from the Witter Entertainment thing when they did the special edition VHSs, and we watched it recently. And I'm gonna be real, it was meant to be on VHS.
Really?
I love that so much. Wait, they made a VHS for a movie that came out like 5 years ago?
No, this came out last year.
Yeah.
So
Terrifier?
Yeah, Terrifier 2.
Yeah, Terrifier 2. Oh, you got Terrifier. So you got a movie that came out last year on VHS?
Yeah. Witter Entertainment. They're this like little like run thing. I guess there's like one guy doing it. He works out the license agreements, and he's like, "Be patient with me, guys. We got a lot of orders. The website crashed."
Yeah, he like puts all these newer movies on VHS and does like limited editions.
Broke Horror Fan, I think, is his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna follow him. So what's the difference in your opinion? Like, why is it meant for VHS?
I just feel like the way it was shot, like it's meant to have that gritty feel. Because when you go to the theater, they got those really nice projectors, the digital projectors, and it's like the 4K and it looks really good. But when you like kind of pop it into the VHS, it kind of just takes you back to like late 90s, early 2000s, just like watching some worn out VHS and some crazy scary movie shit. You know what I mean?
It almost reminds me of like when you ever play like an old video game and you're like, man, back in the day, like this was it. Like this was like the most high tech, like whatever, but they're all like walking like this. And and it's like
I pretty much only play old video games. Like I don't
you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like on VHS, it's
got that retro feel.
Yeah, it's got that retro feel, and the effects almost feel more real because of the way like the VHS plays. Like it's not as crisp. So it kind of
a little darker.
Yeah, it gives you that illusion. Like your mind fills in the blanks for you rather than your eyes being like, oh, I can see how they did that.
Well, I love that because digital in many ways is superior, but it's also like I've heard from a lot of like makeup effects artists that it's getting harder to do good makeup effects with 4K, 6K, 8K because it's just like it's so high definition. Like you can see the seams. Like you can see, you can tell like an actor was wearing makeup because it's such high def.
That's why they do CGI everything now, but there is something like to tell about old school horror effects.
Oh yeah. I mean, we love practical effects on this podcast. I mean, just honestly, just watch The Thing from the 80s and then the remake. It's like not even, it's like not even the same movie or even
the one from the
category.
80s is like
unbelievable.
They nailed it.
And it's crazy that Rob Bottin was like in his early 20s when he did that. Like he was like 22 or 23 or something.
He like almost died just like from exhaustion. That's what I want. That's what I want from people who make my movies. I want them to be so crazy about it that they almost die. They almost kill each other with making Shelley Duvall do 400 takes on the steps during The Shining. I know it's confusing.
Do it again.
It makes better movies. And I don't care. I'm the consumer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Ben and I we were riffing on a few episodes back when the Exorcist director passed away, and so we were riffing on how much we love the Exorcist. And so, like, on the one hand, he made William Friedkin was his name, like how bad of a work environment he had for his actors. Like he was abusive, but at the same time, it's sort of like, yeah, but it resulted in the Exorcist though. So it's like, yeah
didn't the little girl like break her back or something? Like, isn't that one of the things when they were like lifting her up and down?
Yeah, there was that.
She, like,
oh, that's not cool. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. If these
like
are my loved ones,
yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm not cool with that. Like I'm kind of being facetious here, but if it makes great art and no one that I know personally is in any danger, then I'm all for it.
If it's complete strangers, it's fine.
Very selfish, yes. As long as they're not. Now I feel bad when you find out that what's her name? What was the fact you just had who got paid $8,000? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis,
yeah. Like that kind of sucks. I want them to be compensated handsomely to go through it. But
she was the like lead girl. Like
it was her feature film. Yeah.
She did. She did. I mean, she's capitalized off of that series. So
true. Yeah. That is true, though.
Oh man.
So what posters do you have behind you?
Oh, okay. So this one right here. Actually, they're all from the same movie. This is Tarman from Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And this one here. See if we can see it a little better. There you go. All right. So this one's the German print of Return of the Living Dead.
Sweet.
And this one's a recreation of the French print.
The French one, yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The one in the middle's got all the signatures on it.
Yeah.
We might
really?
That's sweet. We might do zombies as a subgenre. I don't know yet. We haven't really decided.
That's what got me started in the whole horror genre.
That's kind of me too.
Me too, actually.
I feel like it's accessible. It's scary. I even remember. Actually, it's because zombies scared me so much as a kid. Like I remember watching my friend play Resident Evil 2 on N64 like late at night, and that scared me. Even like the Simpsons episodes with the zombies, I found scary. I used to run. So like my next door neighbor, like they were my best friends. It was like two brothers, and I would run across their front lawn with a sword at night to run home to my house. So I was so afraid of zombies. Sprint across with like a plastic sword, like that would do any good. But
we lived near a graveyard as a kid, so I remember like I would sit in my room and be able to like see it out my window, and I'm like, man, we're done if it happens.
Man, you're really close.
Man, ground zero, man. you're the appetizer, man.
I'm pretty close to it. I'm pretty close to a graveyard here, actually. A little like Episcopalian one. They're cool. Like that.
I love graveyards now. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
You took me to that graveyard like on one of our first dates.
I did.
That's so awesome.
It was quiet. Yeah. Like I don't know.
You're just hanging out.
Yeah, it's outdoors. You know, it's nature. You know, there's a lot of
it's in public.
My years ago, some friends and I we snuck into a cemetery at night. Like we actually like hopped over like the thing, and like one of the guys who was with us, he was in the military for a bit, so we were like, oh, like in case the cops come and in case we get busted, like we'll just have him. I don't know why we thought like having a veteran would like make like let us get off the hook. Yeah, it was one of the creepiest experiences ever though. Like it was like pitch black at night, and it's like obviously like nothing was there, but it's just like, you know, like it was pretty chilly and windy because this was in Santa Cruz, where they shot the Lost Boys. But it's like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, your mind just fills in, like every moving shadow is something, right?
Yeah.
But
well, that's
running into other goth kids is probably your biggest threat.
I know, yeah. No, actually in Santa Cruz it's probably just like crazy homeless people.
That's true.
That's one of the things we used to do as kids, and actually, you know, we still do it from time to time, is that cemetery, the one that I was actually scared of. On Halloween, like the night before, like right at the stroke of midnight, like as Halloween starts, we're in there usually walking through it. And then, like you said, it's like every shadow, you know, if an animal moves, it's like, oh, it's a zombie. You know what I mean?
Did you guys? So this is a. I've seen like you've seen like linguistics maps of the U.S. like certain words being used in different places. Like soda and pop is one of the most common ones, like where they say that. There's just one that I saw that's very, very finite. But I'm curious, did you guys have a name for the night before Halloween?
Okay, So they used to call it Beggars Night.
Okay, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, that's what my dad used to tell us.
Where are you from?
Niagara Falls, New York.
Okay.
Near
Right.
Buffalo.
I know you're there now. That's where you're from, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
cool.
It's like, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I guess like, you know, they would do the trick or treat for UNICEF kind of stuff, and you know, and they would go out and I don't know, it was like dress up like hobos and shit, and like, you know, beg.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And then the next day they would get the real costumes and trick or treat, but they don't really do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Beggars Night. What about you, Joe?
Yeah.
No, we never had that because I know it's what in Detroit they have.
Well, Detroit, yeah. So that's one of the most famous ones. I remember Eminem had a song called Devil's Night.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's the opposite. They set shit on fire.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, it's called Mischief Night. And that was like a big thing. And it was more about like TPing trees and houses and stuff and like egging stuff. It was like kind of in between the two. It wasn't innocent, but it wasn't setting abandoned houses on fire. Like they do in Detroit. But I've always wondered, it's like very few places, like the vast majority of the map for this survey or whatever was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a name for that thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had no idea because I never.
Yeah, because we, like I said, we don't really have that kind of stuff anymore. Like, you know, like to be honest, like Halloween sometimes ain't even on the same day. Like, you know, if it falls like on a weekday, like maybe the falls, you know, it'll do it on the weekend before, you know, or the, you know, town next to us is like North Tonawanda and Tonawanda. They might do it like a day after. It just really depends, like on how the community wants to set it up.
So speaking of New York, have you guys been to Sleepy Hollow?
No, but that is actually like since we started doing the on location segment, we have been talking about like a whole bunch of things we want to do, and that one is on the list because there's all these things that are super close, and there's an episode that we still got to edit it because we did so much, but like there's tons of like little places around here that like you would be surprised what they filmed. So we're not going to give up what we did just yet, you know, because I don't want people like, okay, let me come out there and film it first.
Yeah, that area is that's pretty far from you guys, Sleepy Hollow, but like that area is really nice.
Yeah, we've driven farther though.
Yeah, for those people like when we did Vermont for Beetlejuice, we literally like drove 8 hours with all three of our kids straight, filmed. And then like went home.
It's hardcore.
That's awesome.
That's great though.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Kids loved it.
Yeah. It's funny because they go to school and it's like, what'd you do this weekend? And they're like, oh, we went to see where Beetlejuice was filmed. The other kids are like, well, I went to the park.
Oh man. Ben, your turn. Did you want to share a horror, a slasher movie of?
Yeah. Yes, I saw a bad one, and it was so bad that I had to vent about it. This is a movie called Alone at Night.
Okay,
have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but
I've
that's
heard
one
of
of New
it,
Line
and
Cinema's
I know the plot, but I didn't see it.
Well, it sucks, and you shouldn't. And it's not like one of those movies where so like as you know, I rate movies, I write reviews for them. Like I give this a 24. I don't even know last time I gave a movie in the 20s. It's not. So one thing I hated about it was it kind of did a bait and switch where like even the poster art, which was really cool, kind of like classic, you know, good looking young girl in the blade of a knife. Like you think it's like there's not even knives in the movie. He kills with like a crowbar. It's like which like I don't know, when you're making like a classic slide, like that's what it's supposed to be. You know, it's very tropey, but that's horror is one of the places where tropes can be fun. Where it's, you know, she's in a isolated cabin up in the California mountains or something. Pamela Anderson's in it as a sheriff. She's in like 2 scenes. It's kind of crappy.
All right, well now I have to watch it.
Yeah, but they also kind of did a bait and switch with her. She's in literally like 2 scenes, and there's this whole. It's weird. It's like a COVID movie that came out in 2023. So it's like a lot of it's all about like kind of. They're asking each other, like, did you test? Are you masking? And it's like the show within the movie is this reality TV show with like hot celebrities, and Paris Hilton's the host. And they try and do some like commentary at the end which just doesn't land, and the acting is really bad. It's just like this series of hot guys who kind of show up at her house. Like one's an electrician, one is like the neighbor. It's like, you know that one of these guys is going to be the killer. She's like a cam girl to make money, and during COVID, and I don't know. It was so bad that it made me angry. It wasn't bad in a fun way. Like horror can also, it's one that's why it's so versatile. It can be one of those genres that can be bad in a fun way, and this wasn't that either.
See, that's how I feel about Scream. Like, one of my favorite slashers is the Scream franchise.
Sure.
And I think it's because exactly what you said. Like, there's something fun about like how bad it is. Like, especially the newer ones. Like, people giving them a lot of like crap for, you know, how they are and how they were filmed and the way it played out. But like, I think it's just fun. It's all in good fun.
Scream is like The Godfather compared to this movie. Like, that's how bad this movie is. Like the Scream movies. And we've talked, we should talk about the Scream series. I mean, that is classic slasher kind of, where it's like commentary on slasher. I told myself I wasn't going to watch any more Scream movies after the 2022 one. What was that called? Was that Scream 6?
So there was
5, I think.
No, there's 6. So 4 was the one with Emma Roberts.
I think the 1 in 22 is 5.
Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah,
5.
Where they bring back a lot of characters, and they kind of do. Yeah, that one I didn't like it, but it was like I did like the New York one a little more. I thought that was very cool that they said.
I like the poster for that one.
I don't know the poster.
I work at the theater, so
right.
He knows the posters for everything.
Like the one we got, it kind of was very reminiscent to Jason Takes Manhattan. It had like the screen face and like, you know, the city around it, and then there was the other one where it was like a subway car, and like the reflection of the Scream mask was in the window.
We have pictures on our Instagram of it, because I wore a Scream mask to the movie, to the premiere. So we took a bunch of pictures there. But I loved the New York one, because like, especially the opening of that, because it was like, it was the same thing, but they're doing something different. Yeah. And that like got me excited. It
got me enough. Like it got me to put it on. I liked it more than Scream 6. Mm-hmm. It's too meta for me. It's getting overload. But I'll probably end up watching the next one too, because
I feel it's the same way with like Halloween and Friday the 13th. Like think about the first Halloween to like, you know what I mean? Like
Corey
to 5. So now Corey. So it's like, you know, they there's something to be said about the goofiness and like the ridiculousness of slashers.
They killed him with the fridge, Cait.
I know. It's like all this time we've been waiting all these movies, and he dies by fridge. No. Like, what?
I want to bring up a slasher movie that I got a kick out of in my youth. Is The Burning from 1981. Have you guys seen that one? You guys familiar with that one at all?
I
have not. Oh, I'm surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's still them fun tidbits I haven't seen.
Yeah. So it came out in 1980. So it's the story. You guys would probably know the story that it's actually that inspired. It's based on the legend of Cropsey.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys like heard that urban legend.
Like when you're legend. Okay.
Yeah, it's something like what was it? Like there's a janitor at a camp. It's one of the stories that gets told at summer camps all the time. But it's like, 10 years ago there was a janitor who worked here, and then so some kids played a prank on him, and he burned to death. But he comes back every year to kill kids or something like that. It's some kind of variation. So it says it was more popular like in the 70s, I guess, but they made a movie on it based on this legend. Interesting, some factoids about it. It was actually written by the Weinstein brothers, Bob and Harvey Weinstein.
Wow.
It was actually one of the first Miramax films, I think. Actually, Tom Savini did the effects, so there are some really great gore shots in that one. And a very young Jason Alexander is
really
in the film. Yeah, pre-Seinfeld.
Way
it's funny
because
Seinfeld. Yeah. So this is 81. So like. Yeah. I think about 7-8 years before Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But it's funny because he is like I think George, I think George Costanza, like that's just like all he can really do. Like just variations on that. Just so he plays like this really big, over the top, fast talking. Hey, I this and that. So he's basically just playing like a young George Costanza in this one. But yeah, it's a fun one.
Hold on, I'm gonna write this. So the first one was Sleepaway Camp that we talked about before.
Yes. Yeah.
And then was this one The Burning?
The Burning, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm pretty. You know what? If these are available, I will watch them during this Horror Fest. But I got a lot to get to.
No,
it's like a job. It's like a job over here, man. I got hours.
But anyway, that's one. It's not even like particularly great. It's still pretty like a pretty average like 80s slasher flick. I think it's the Tom Savini gore effects that really elevate it. And try to get the uncut version if you can.
Okay.
They always do.
There's an infamous scene on a raft where Cropsy, the Cropsy guy, just slaughters a whole bunch of teens, and they're on a raft, so they're all kind of like stuck there on a lake, and so he just
so fuck.
So he just mutilates them all. It's pretty great. So,
all right.
Hells yeah.
No.
Fuck them kids.
It's funny because like
smoking weed and doing it.
Yeah.
It's funny because like when you think about it, like if that happened in real life, you'd be like, oh my god, all these 13 and 14-year-olds were killed. But it's like when you watch it in a movie, it's like they're all played like 27-year-olds. So it's funny.
I feel like they did.
Sorry. Even in Friday the 13th, that one kid goes down the stairs. He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
We're all just like, no.
In a horrible way too. He gets a machete to the face. Like,
same with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when the guy's is in a wheelchair.
That's right.
And we're all just like laughing at him.
I know.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, do you guys watch American Horror Story?
We have
on and off.
So like I haven't caught the new ones. The last full one I watched was probably, what was that one where they were like in the underground?
Oh, Apocalypse. That one is so bad.
Last one I saw was the 1984.
That's what I was going to bring up is the 1984. It sounds like it's kind of a take on that urban legend because it is a janitor coming back. I don't know if they burned him though, but that one is, a very classic slasher take. I like the AHS a lot. I watch all of them. Some Apocalypse is probably the worst one.
That one threw me off. That's why I didn't watch it anymore. But he always talks about 1984. So
1984 is pretty good. I'm doing the NYC one now. I haven't gotten to the new one yet.
Speaking of well, it's not a TV show, but did you ever see the Netflix Fear Street?
Oh, the R.L. Stein?
I watched all three. The movies?
Yeah.
I watched all three last year back to back during Horrorfest.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was like one of I would consider that like slasher-esque and like that. I feel like that was like one of the newer like slashers that's come out that I was like really into.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I forget which ones. I think I liked the first and third. I don't know if I liked the second a lot, but kind of felt like a bridge episode. But I thought those were very cool because they were like three different time periods, right?
Yeah.
Like the 90s, the
70s, and then like the 1660s or something.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite kill from a slasher movie?
Oh shit.
I mean, some of my favorite kills are like going to be from Terrifier, so I'm not going to give them away. But like, when we watched on VHS, I like kind of forgot that it was about to happen, and it still got me. But I mean, you can always go with the classic, like getting beat against a tree in the sleeping bag. Jason.
Yeah,
that always like makes me like crack up.
I got one. Okay, it is Jason.
Okay.
Right. But when he takes like that girl's face and they're in the RV driving and he like shoves her face like into the wall outside of the RV, like you see her face.
It's like a Looney Tunes thing.
That's probably my favorite kill.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was from part 6, Jason Lives, which is actually my favorite Friday the 13th film. Because that was the one where they started getting a little goofy. So the director even said that his name was Tom McLaughlin, I think, and he's like, yeah, like we're on number 6. It's not that scary anymore. Can we start having a little bit of fun with the Jason kills? Can we get Alice Cooper to do some songs? Like, it's got a killer soundtrack. So I was like, yeah, let's just make that a fun rock and roll movie. So
just to give an answer, I'm sure I could think of others, but to give an answer, I always liked the Nightmare on Elm Street bed, like Johnny Depp in the bed, and then it shoots out. I always thought that was pretty sweet.
I like how it's like more blood than the human body can hold.
Yeah.
That is a great one. I think one of my favorite slasher kills is from Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the one where he cuts the guy's like he's using like his veins as like a marionette puppet. That's one of my favorites.
I haven't seen enough of all these sequels. Like I've seen all the originals, maybe like growing up. I mean, in like my adult life, I haven't seen a lot of them. So I do know that one sounds very famous.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What about I just watched. Do you know what was really good? To talk about a really good movie. I just saw Pearl. I don't know if you guys liked that.
Yes, I have both of those.
Yeah, Pearl was really good. I liked it a lot more than X. I thought X was that but I liked Pearl a lot more.
That was chef's kiss.
Yeah. She
was amazing in that.
I want to meet her.
She was so good in that movie that I'm kind of like I'm not annoyed because I do think Maxine will be cool, but that's the next girl. That's the other girl that Mia Goth plays in X, and like what happened to her after, because I think it's like early 80s and X was 1979. I want to see a movie with Pearl between her being like 18 and like 90 or however old she is in X.
Yeah, like what
in between?
Happened?
Well, you know what's interesting about the thing with Pearl is as long as Mia Goth wants to play that character, we've seen her from the point in Pearl to when she's like this really old lady in X. So you got so much you could cover in that time. And as she gets older, she could keep returning to the character, no problem.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, yeah, you're right. She could keep doing that because Howard is the same. So you guys have seen both of them, right? Everyone's seen these. So like, Joe, have you seen these?
No, I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, do you not want me to ruin them?
That's fine. Go for it.
Write it down, man.
So Howard, when he comes home at the end of Pearl, by the way, spoilers for listeners. When he comes home, like I looked it up to make sure that's the same guy in X, who's also very old. So he doesn't like do anything. So I want to see like how does he take seeing her rotting family at the dinner table? Like what does he do? And that ending scene with her is amazing. How she's just like staring at the camera, smiling, like holding that smile for what seems like 5 minutes.
I just want to know how he's like, I'm gonna stick around.
Yeah,
like
I can fix her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call the cops. We're just gonna bury your family in the backyard, and I'm just gonna like stay.
But that's a good point, Jim. Like, she can just keep coming back and playing. Like she could play her in her like late 20s, or I don't know how old Mia Goth is, but she can play a lot younger. So very sweet.
I'd like to meet her too. She seems like a character. I mean, if you're married to Shia LaBeouf and have a kid with them, like you got to be a character.
That's who she's married to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I think they were like together and then they broke up and now they're back together and they have a kid together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You heard it here.
Did you guys see news? Did you see Infinity Pool?
No.
That's all right. Not great. It's okay.
Oh yeah, so I'm looking at I'm on Fangoria's website right now, and I'm looking at the best horror movie taglines from like older like cult movies, and there's some really good ones, and there's some ones where it's like it was written by someone who has a very tenuous understanding of the English language. So these are kind of all over the place, but I want to read a few some of the ones that stood out to me. So this is from a movie called The Corpse Grinders. And the tagline is "Turn bones and flesh into screaming savage blood death."
All right.
That escalated quickly.
The Last House on the Left has a really good one. It rests on 13 acres of earth over the very center of hell. To avoid fainting, keep repeating, "It's only a movie. It's only a movie. It's only a movie." That's a good one. I like that.
That's a good one.
And this is from Deranged, which is, I think, one of the it was based on Ed Gein, and if I'm not mistaken, was like one of the first movies that Tom Savini did the effects for. This came in the 70s. This is a good one. Pretty Sally Mae died a very unnatural death, but the worst hasn't happened to her yet.
It's like, hey, what are they gonna do?
Exactly. Oh man! All right. So what other slasher movies? Any obscure ones? And you guys want to?
Let's see. I don't.
Do you know what I always liked that I want to return to is The Devil's Rejects. If Kent a slasher, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
So many times.
I love the Devil's Rejects movies. House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. Even the third one, the Three from Hell. Like
I like that one.
It wasn't as good as the second one, but I did like it.
Yeah.
I always thought The Devil's Rejects was really good, and I just haven't seen it in so long. But I haven't seen House of Thousand Corpses in a while either.
But yeah, like I don't know if you could consider this like a slasher because the movie's more the guy going insane, but he does some slashing stuff.
Get some slashing in.
So it's like Rent-A-Pal. Like you know what I mean? Like that was a good movie. And long story short is it's based on this thing and you can find it on YouTube. It was called Rent a Friend. And it was a 30-minute thing where this guy's just sitting in his living room, like talking to you, like, one-sided conversation. He's like, so how was work today? Oh yeah, that sounds good. You know what I mean? So it's like really creepy.
Right.
And the movie is about a guy and he gets one of those tapes and he just starts like getting obsessed with it and like thinking that this dude's his friend, and then the video starts to change and like talk to him about very specific things in his life, and then finally he just kind of like snaps. So I thought it's I don't know if you call it a slasher, but it's right, it's almost there.
Right.
That's a good one. We bought that on a whim. We didn't even know anything about it, and Jim's like, "I'm gonna buy this." And
Another one. This one's more of a full-on slasher. Silent Rage. Chuck Norris.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Silent Rage with Chuck Norris.
It's basically like Halloween. Like the guy just can't be killed. You know what I mean? But it's got like Walker, Texas Ranger. You know what I mean?
Does he play the main killer, or does he play someone else?
Like, wait, what?
Does Chuck Norris play like the killer?
No, he's the cop hunting the killer.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah.
He's got this big 10-gallon cowboy hat. So that was. I feel like not enough people talk about that movie, and that's definitely a slasher.
One of my favorites from that era is The Prowler. Did you guys ever see that one?
Okay, yes.
That was a pretty decent one. That one also has Tom Savini doing effects.
Yeah,
I know he's kind of a dick in real life.
He's
our
dick.
But what I love about his effects, though, are besides the fact that they were, very realistic looking for their time, is like he had this this forensic attention to detail that so many other special effects artists at the time did not have. So in The Prowler, there's one where a girl gets stabbed in the shower with a pitchfork, but so as the guy, he's stabbing her, you hear the metal scraping against the tile. And it's like he always just kind of goes like the extra step of just like, let's add like obviously it's a fake pitchfork, but like let's try to sell the effect that that's a real pitchfork that's impaling her. There's another effect in that movie, which was actually kind of an accident. It was a woman gets her throat slashed in a pool, so you see all the blood coming out. It's a really cool effect, but then it runs out of blood, so it's just air bubbles coming out of her throat. That was a mistake, but it actually kind of makes sense. It's like your lungs would probably just be pushing air through your lungs. But yeah, man, Tom Savini back in the day, man.
You know what's a slasher that I love, and I don't ever hear anybody talk about it, and I think I showed you this one. It's called Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
I haven't seen that one, but that one gets recommended to me a lot.
It is fantastic.
It's really good.
Just to give you like a brief overview, it's basically this story of like this guy is like, yeah, I'm a serial killer. I want you to like come and film me do my thing. And so the like a group of kids are like, okay, yeah, like let's film you. And he's like showing you like behind the scenes of like how he gets like, how like the whole trope of like you see him in the window and then you look back and he's gone. Like he shows how to do that, and it like and it just progressively gets like more and more where the kids are like, oh my God, is he like an actual serial killer? Like,
yeah,
what?
and he's getting all excited. He's like, it's the day's coming, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
But it's like, it's a really cool slasher that is like an idea that I haven't seen anywhere else. So that is definitely one of those underrated ones that I love.
Yeah.
Isn't that also where it's implied that like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees are real people or something like that? Like that. That's
they
awesome.
all exist in the same universe.
Yeah.
What's this movie called?
It's called Behind the Mask: Rise of Leslie Vernon.
So one of my favorite slasher comedies is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you guys seen that one?
Yes.
That one's so good. I love
All
that
these
one.
kids just came out and started killing themselves.
Ben, have you seen it?
No, we talked about this last episode. I haven't gotten to it.
Okay.
Yet. I will.
It's great. It's like, and I hate using this term, subvert. Like it kind of, you know, but like it actually does a really good job of like turning the slasher trope on its head. So like the basic premise is that there's a group of college kids. They're going out to the woods to party, right? And they mistaken these two lovable, dopey, sort of like you know, blue collar guys. They think that they're sort of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, sort of, you know, inbred murderer types. But they're just, but the hillbillies, they're just going out to the woods to just like drink and go fishing. Like it's like a very sweet, wholesome thing. But when the kids are out skinny dipping, one of the girls, she sees the guys when they're night fishing, and then she falls, and then they go rescue her, and they're like, "Hey, we got your friend," but her friends think like, "Oh my God, they kidnapped her," so they take off. So they're like, "Oh, well, let's just take her back to the cabin, and then we'll take her back to her friends in the morning." But they think, "Oh, they've kidnapped her and this and that," so they go to rescue her. But every time they go to rescue, they accidentally kill themselves on like a really gory way. And the two hillbillies are just like this is some kind of suicide cult or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that one. Do you guys have any slasher comedies or anything that
I mean, I would say the whole like Child's Play Chucky series.
Yeah, they're kind
like,
of a heavy hitter, but still, like, you know, you can't do without it. That is like comedy.
Yeah.
no.
Let me see. Comedy.
Are we counting what do you count Evil Dead as? Is it like zombie?
Kind of zombie. It's kind of demonic possession.
I feel like it's kind of like halfway between slapstick and like The Exorcist with demonic possession.
Yeah, it's possession. It's kind of zombie-ish. There's some slasher elements to it.
There are slasher elements though, but that's like more with him. You know what I mean? And like especially like later when you get to the TV show, like, you know, they're like, yeah, this guy killed all his friends with a fucking chainsaw, right? You know what I mean? Like he's crazy.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That's kind of a comedy. That's a pretty funny one.
Oh yeah, that one's definitely.
Which one was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when he like the one dude like kidnaps the girl?
That's
Is that
two.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, that one.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one.
So that actress Caroline Williams, I ran into her at it was some like art, like some gothic art thing, and so like I texted my friend. I took a picture of her from a distance. I was like, hey, I think this is her from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He goes, dude, that's totally her. Go, you should go up and get her autograph. So I went up to her, and she's really nice and everything. And I got my picture taken with her, and I was like, hey, can I get your autograph? She goes, yeah, sure. And then she goes, what do you want me to sign? I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe can you sign my flyer? And she goes, oh, I'm in that art book over there. Can you just want to buy the book? And I was like, yeah, okay. And it ended up costing like $80 or something. I was like,
oh my God.
I got him.
All right. Yeah, here you are. So she signed the thing, and it's like $80. But so now I'm stuck with like this book of like naked gothic chicks. And it's like, I don't.
You send it to me.
But she did sign it, so that's
He's
pretty
like, I'm
cool.
gonna take you to a graveyard.
Greg Nicotero kind of got me the same way. He was like, hey, look at this t-shirt. You want to buy that, right? And I'm like,
She was like, yeah,
I think so.
I do.
Nicotero's a good guy, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like he kind of reminds me of like the dudes my dad hung out with and he'd like smoke pot with.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he was super cool.
Yeah. I ran into him at a heavy metal concert on the Sunset.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, you like tweet or you like
I tagged you on. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, dude.
It was super cool, yeah, because he was just like, "Oh yeah, we just wrapped filming on the latest season of The Walking Dead, so I finally had some time off, so I thought I'd come see this concert." I was like, "Oh my god!" This is like casually throw out, like, "Oh, we just finished wrapping up, Walking Dead." But
wait, who is seeing The Walking Dead?
so he's a makeup effects artist. He did a lot of the zombie effects,
gotcha.
but he's been an actor. You've probably seen him. Like, have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
So he plays a minor role in that one. He plays like a biker dude with long hair. He's shown up. He's done a lot of cameos in horror movies.
He's in Day of the Dead.
He was in Day of the Dead, right? He played one of the soldiers.
Wait,
in that one.
yeah. Is he?
If I send you a picture of him, you'd be like, "Oh, I've seen that guy."
Is he like black hair, mustache, like
probably
Latino
think of Tom Savini.
Oh,
Greg Nicotero, he's got long, dark blonde hair.
I have the internet right here. I can just look him up.
Yeah, he's got kind of a biker look to him a little bit, but kind of like a hippie-ish dude.
Yeah, very cool. Oh yeah, there he is, Daryl.
Yeah,
oh, I'm dead. All right.
Have you guys ever seen Maniac?
Yes, Maniac is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's a pretty twisted, fucked up one.
Yes.
Did you guys ever see the remake with Elijah Wood?
There's a remake of that.
Yeah,
And it has
Wood.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Let me double check. Maniac 2012.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Elijah Wood is in that one.
We gotta start our own list. Like,
Now, would you say that Motel Hell?
yeah,
That's the one where they bury him.
yeah. Oh,
okay.
from the neck up, and then
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, Motel Hell?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. Isn't it kind of a parody of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit?
Yeah, a bit. And they're just like they're planting people like in a garden, like I don't know, and they're just like up to their necks.
And so there's like all these like heads, and they're like freaking out. It's like good.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
And then that one had Rory Calhoun in it, I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the same one.
That he played the main guy because he was mostly known for being like a very like wholesome guy, but then he did this
like
twisted little
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else slasher movie related?
See, I'm trying to think, man. I got so many movies. Oh, okay. Relentless. The cool kid from Breakfast Club. They eat my shorts. That guy.
Yeah.
He played a serial killer, and the cop chasing him was actually Bud from Halloween 2, the 1981 Halloween 2 or whatever.
Right.
And like he kills a girl with like a piano string and stuff like that. But that was a good one. It was more of a serious tone, but I feel like that's another one people really don't ever talk about, but it does. It's got a lot of Halloween vibes to it.
Yeah. I like how towards the end of the 80s, they were just basing, I guess it was actually throughout the 80s. Basically, after Halloween, they kept making all the slasher movies based on holidays. Like you had, the Bloody Valentine one. Then you had Silent Night, Deadly Night. Have you guys seen that one?
The one that came out recently?
No. This one came out in the 80s. I think it was like 82 or 83.
No.
That was a pretty good one.
Oh, that Violent Night was what came out recently, right?
Oh yeah, that's a more recent one.
Yeah.
Would you count Happy Death Day as a slasher?
Oh yeah.
You ever seen that one? Happy Death Day?
No, but that was actually filmed like a lot like in my neighborhood in New Orleans.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was filmed right on Loyola's campus, where they filmed a lot of movies there. They filmed because I remember I was walking by and they turned. It's pretty funny. It's a Catholic school, and there's like a place where the nuns live. Like there's still some nuns there, and they like turned into a frat house. I remember, and it was very, very weird. I'm like going to law school, and they're filming this movie, but they also they filmed a bunch. They filmed Jack Reacher in my neighborhood. They filmed Bad Moms. They filmed the second 22 Jump Street.
Okay.
They filmed all those like right in that area of New Orleans.
Cool.
See, yeah.
We got
New Orleans has a lot of filming locations for you guys to go to. I don't know how many horror off the top of my head, except for Happy Death Day.
That's the thing though with filming locations; they don't have to be horror. Like,
they don't have to be horror.
No, there's a bunch of movies that are just like comedies or actions that we gotta see these places.
Oh, then dude, yeah, New Orleans has so many. Like they filmed a lot of movies there.
Yeah, Happy Death Day though, that's a good one. That's a basic premise is like girl keeps waking up on the day of her birthday and keeps getting killed over and over and over.
Time to pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's 2 of them and they're both equally great. I would say.
I've been meaning to check that one out.
Like kind of like Groundhog's Day, you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
yeah.
And then they did. So that's one where they did a horror movie based on the. There's a term for that. Well, it's like the Groundhog's Day. They just had it with Palm Beach, no, Palm Coast, Palm Springs. That was the Palm Springs. And then they also did. I didn't really like it, but the one that's the body shifting one with Vince Vaughn.
Oh,
Freaky, Freaky, which is like a Freaky Friday, which that's based off a bunch of stuff. That's a slasher.
Definitely a slasher.
There's a really good kill in that, I think, too. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was one of the highlights of the movie because it wasn't a very. It was
probably the shop teacher, right? She like slides him right across.
Oh, maybe.
Remember?
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, that's definitely a slasher flick, and it's also, I don't know, one of the weirdest Vince Vaughn movies I think I've ever seen.
Very good.
But he does it so well.
Especially that part where him and the boy are in the car and they're just like kind of like cutie flirting. Like I was just like
you believed it for a minute. You're like, that really is like a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah. Well, he did. He was in the Psycho remake, and Psycho is kind of like a proto slasher movie in a way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's true.
That one was weird because they filmed it like scene for scene, but it was so different from the original. Like,
it was made by a good director too, Gus Van Sant, who did Good Will Hunting.
That's who directed that. I see. I didn't know that.
Well, that's one of the most. That has to be the most iconic slasher kill. Is Psycho, the shower.
The shower scene. Yeah.
It changed cinema.
Janet did.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Janet Leigh is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, so it's like as soon as Scream Queen runs in the blood.
Yeah,
and there's like a lot of Psycho references throughout Halloween. Like Sam Loomis is the name of her, husband. She even shows up with the car in Halloween H2O that she drove in Psycho. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was like Jamie Lee Curtis's secretary or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to talk to you from a maternal perspective.
Wow.
And then she gets in the car that like Norman like pushed her into the lake with.
I want to talk about this tendency for horror movie where it's like where they run out of ideas. So like, let's just put them in space.
Yeah, dude, they do that with so much shit, though. But yes, I've always wanted to write about that. Why everything always ends up in space.
Because you have Jason X, you have Leprechaun in space, you have Hellraiser, Bloodline.
What did we count Hellraiser as?
It's not really slasher.
Like
more demonic, but it's not.
It's like not psychological horror.
Erotic horror, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe more erotic horror.
I think we talked about this last year, Jim. I think Pinhead just kind of carries that franchise. Because it's
the
not
remake
a great
was not
movie.
very good though.
Like people just like to see like Pinhead's just so scary.
Yeah.
Doug Bradley, man, and he's another one I want to meet before it's like
met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my picture taken with him, but this was years ago. I was like 17 or something. So it was shot. My friend took a picture. He took a bunch of pictures, but it was all with like a shitty old like digital camera that I think he lost. He sent me the pictures years ago, but it was like on my Yahoo account that shut down. So it's like I think those pics. But I got my picture taken with Doug Bradley, Ken Foray, what's his face from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He's the one who played like the Sonny Bono guy. The metal in his head.
Bill Moseley.
Bill Moseley, yeah.
I'm
picture taken with him. And then the guy I didn't get my picture taken with him, but it was Captain Spaulding guy from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh.
What's his name?
Oh.
That actor.
Not Art. It's not
Why is that slipping my mind right now?
I know.
Yeah.
I know his name. Like
Art. No. Oh no. That I'm getting confused with the Terrifier.
look it
Grenade.
up.
Let me see.
yeah, please look it up. Like brain cloud.
Sid Haig.
Yeah,
Hey. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm like, I know this.
Oh, that's Bill Murray.
Oh, and then Reanimator guy. What's his name?
That I don't know.
Off the top of my head, he's a great actor.
Do you know what's a fun piece of trivia I learned recently is about Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface.
Yeah.
That he was like a super peaceful guy, like a poet, and he was just like this, like not like, and he was just big, and they had him do this, but he was like kind of like the total opposite of. I mean, obviously opposite, but sure, but like not scary at all, and just like a big, like affable guy.
Yeah, that's funny. I love stuff like that though, because I've heard similar things about like Doug Bradley. You know, that he's just like a very proper English gentleman in real life. Like he always has like
it's the same with James Gandolfini and Tony Soprano. He was like James Gandolfini was like a hippie.
Oh,
he was just like a pot smoking, like peace love kind of guy, and then he's playing this mobster who like so.
Can you believe they made 2 Leprechaun in the Hood movies?
Wait, there's 2. I knew about the one. I didn't know there's a second one.
It's just
Cool.
Back to the Hood.
Where's the demand?
Apparently there
Leprechaun in
is
the
one.
Hood.
Oh man,
Horror blaxploitation. That should be a separate episode. There's a movie I have on my list called The Blackening, which
I
just
want to
came out.
see it.
Mhm.
That was one of the ones
Well,
that was on the DVD in the library that I'm like, I should just get it out here.
Yeah.
It didn't do well at our theater. I don't know how other
No.
theaters did it, but it looked. I
I wanna see
watched
it,
most
yeah.
of it. It looked funny.
It looked funny.
Yeah,
I remember Vampires too, which was like a vampire movie in the hood. I remember that growing up.
well there was the Blackula, and then I think there was also a Blackenstein too.
Yeah,
God damn it.
and if you want to like count the Eddie Murphy one, Vampire.
Vampire in Brooklyn. Wes Craven did that one too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting. How was that one?
Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
Nice.
100%.
Wes Craven did. He's got a surprising career because he's obviously he's known for Friday the 13th, the Friday Nightmare on Elm Street movies and Scream and everything. But like he did like what was it like that Meryl Streep movie, Music from the Heart, like a PG-rated drama.
Yeah,
About a
and
teacher,
then what was
music
that one
teacher.
that we saw Thursday Terrors that he did.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't remember.
I remember the poster for it, but I don't remember what the movie was called. Dang.
It wasn't like The Hills Have Eyes or something, was it?
No, it was like this really weird like kind of movie, but it was like funny at the same time.
The People Under the Stairs.
No.
Deadly Friend.
But that's a good
Deadly
one.
Friend.
Deadly Friend.
That's it.
That's what it was. And I was like, why
Yes,
haven't I
thank
seen
you.
this movie?
That's the one with the old lady, right? Who gets hit in the head with the basketball and her head explodes.
Yes. Yes. We want to talk about favorite kills. Like
Okay.
up there.
Memory Unlocked. That
Yeah.
one is top 10 for sure.
That one is definitely
Because there's
up there.
no reason why her head explodes like that.
From a basketball or whatever.
Yeah, there's no reason.
So where does
consider Phantom of the Mall
Eric's
slasher?
Revenge.
Eric's
yeah,
Revenge.
for sure.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phantom of the Mall.
no, he kills people.
Yeah.
So where's slashers and like your favorite subgenres for horror movies?
Like, how do I rank them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like zombies, slashers.
Zombie slashers.
Yeah, and then like demons, like Evil Dead and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Top 3. How about you?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big slasher fan. I like thrillers that surprise me. Like, I don't know if I would consider this a slasher, probably, but like The Strangers. Like, you ever seen that?
The
Oh, is it
Stranger.
the home invasion one?
that's not-
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
home invasion one.
That is
Yeah, that was cool.
that. It was. I liked it.
Mhm.
It has one of the best lines though. I think in a horror movie where
Mhm.
they're like, "Why us?" and they're just like, "Because
You're
you were
home."
home."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit! Like, talk about that's not a guy invading your dreams with knife hands, that's not
and
like
it's
that.
not
That's like a real fucking fear. It's like just because your lights were on, that's why.
Yeah,
that's really
like
scary
my
shit.
favorite, like kind of like the ones where that's why Terrifier is so scary, because it's like you like if I can put myself in the movie and have that real fear, like, oh my god, like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever watch the ones with I guess so who's the guy who's most famous for playing Jason Voorhees? What's his name?
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder. And so he played another slasher killer guy in recent years. The one where he's like in the Louisiana swamps or whatever.
And it was kind of like a Jason character too, where he had like the overalls, right?
Yeah. He's unkillable, and he kills people in like the most over the top ways possible.
Yeah.
What movies? What were those movies? Hatchet.
Okay.
Okay. Those are pretty funny. Like there's and they're very tongue in cheek, and the effects don't look that good. So I think it's similar to Terrifier, where it's just so over the top that it's more cartoony than anything. But there's one where the guy who played Candyman, what's his name?
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd. His character, he's wrestling with the hatchet guy, and then he gets a hatchet and he starts cutting him in half as he's like strangling him, and so he cuts him in half, and then like Tony Todd, he's just like this, like like his torso, he's like crawling, and then he goes up to him and he grabs like his spinal column, and then he rips out like this like like the skinless, but he's still breathing. He's like, oh, and then he just kind of tosses him away, like it's from a distance, so you can tell it's like a dummy that like he just kind of goes away.
See, that's the thing about horror movies. Like they're so like the craziest like scenarios. I'm like, I would have been dead after the first stab.
Yeah.
Like you would have went like that, and I would have been done.
You're like, oh, that's it. This isn't so fun anymore.
Yeah, like I quit. Like
I'm gonna go back to school.
Lame.
I'm gonna
go to clown college. No.
Oh man. All right, you guys. So any more slasher thoughts, or you want to start wrapping this up a bit?
See, I can't think of them right now. What's going to happen is we're going to wrap up, and then all these things are just going to start hitting me. I'm going to be like, oh yeah.
Oh man. Well, so thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It was great to have you guys. It was great to have you back, Jim. It was great to see you, Cait. It's great to meet you. So why don't you guys tell us, tell our audience like where they can find you and what's next for you guys.
Yeah. So we've got our YouTube channel where you can find all of our videos, the Delta Vidcast. We're pretty active on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now.
Twitter.
It's still Twitter. You got to go to twitter.com when you go online. So I feel like it's still Twitter. And we do have Facebook, Instagram. So we're pretty much on almost every platform.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll be sure to link in the description where people can find you. Do you guys have any plans, any interesting things coming up for your podcast?
Yeah, we got a couple of on locations that we did that are going to be probably multiple parts. So that's going to be coming up. And we got a couple of Tales from the Horde that we're going to be filming soon. And
we're just trying to kind of decide what we want to do. See, right now we're moving.
Yeah.
So over the next few episodes, you'll probably see a change in the background kind of stuff.
Cool.
Because we're getting out of here. Yeah. So there might be a little bit of a break, but we do definitely have some stuff in the bank ready to go. And we think you guys will like it.
Nice.
Yeah, like you said before, the next one's probably going to be our Dawn of the Dead, and
Sweet. I just subscribed, by the way, to the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And then do you guys, on a more personal note, do you guys have any Halloween plans?
So Halloween's a little rough this year because we're moving in what is it, a week, week and a half? Yeah. So it's gonna be like right mid Halloween season. So we're hoping that we get in and can set up our Halloween stuff soon, because like in the neighborhood we're known as like the Jason house. I don't know if you've ever said, but we have a life-size Jason that is on our doorstep all year round. So we usually dress him up for Halloween, and then we'll put a Santa suit on him for Christmas. So we're hoping that we can get in our house and get all that set up so we can go out and do our like usual, like haunted houses. And
there's a life-size Jason actually not far from me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, saw him for the first time. Kind of around the corner. I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, it's funny because sometimes you see the Amazon guys come up on the porch, and I heard that the windows were open. I heard this one dude go, "Oh fuck!" Right? And I like look out the window. I'm like, "What's going on?" Right? And he's like, "I thought this was like a dude standing on your porch, man." Like, I saw the machete. I saw the mask.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I definitely had DoorDash call me quite a few times. Like, there's this guy standing at your door and he's freaking me out. I'm like, and like.
He's stuffed.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Let's do this more often. This was fun.
Oh
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, and also, you guys are my favorite Twitter couple. You guys are adorable as hell. So I recommend all of our listeners to follow you guys. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. And yeah, let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Of course, guys.
All right. Bye,
Stay
everybody. Stay reckless.
Reckless.